Hey, look at that. I'm live again. This is me live number 2. That's probably not a great way to put it. Nobody wants to see nobody wants to see a number 2 live. Well, there might be a segment of the population that wants to see that, but maybe even a segment of my viewers, but let's just pretend that nobody wants to see me have a number 2 live. Okay, let's get off of the topic. Change the damn topic. It's April Fool's Day, and I guess it's I'm starting out like a fool because that's how I roll. But anyway, if you're watching this later on, I'm glad you are. Thank you very much. And anyway, even if nobody's here, and I don't think anybody is, I'm still in the infancy of this thing. No, it looks like I'm alone at the moment, but that's cool. I have not come empty-handed. I do have a couple things I wanted to talk about. First of all, April Fool's Day. How do you guys feel about that? Did you ever get into that? I don't think I ever did. I remember as a kid, certainly not as an adult. It's just like, huh? It's April Fool's Day? Oh, okay, whatever. But as a kid, I was always nervous about April Fool's Day. I didn't have any fun with it because I was too busy being guarded about who's going to play a trick on me. Now, that's not to say that I don't enjoy a joke, even at my expense. I enjoy jokes, especially at my expense. I make them myself frequently. But in any case, what do you guys feel about that? Do you guys have any thoughts about April Fool's Day? April Fool's Day? Okay, so, hey, there's somebody here. Somebody said, hi, Jan. Hi, Bob. I'm glad you joined me. Anyway, so a couple things I wanted to talk about were for people who are looking to get into voiceover and who are just sort of starting off their infancy in this. Hey, Bob, if you're still with me, tell me where you're watching from. I'd be curious as to where you are in the world. Okay, so as I was saying, for those who are just kind of tinkering around with thinking about getting into voiceover, I've got a couple tips for you as you're doing your research, and even before you have any recording gear, or maybe you haven't taken any any classes, any coaching sessions, anything like that. A couple things. First of all, if you're going to be doing any type of long form narration, anything like audiobooks, e-learning, audio tours, anything where the audio is longer than maybe a couple minutes, anything longer than like an explainer video. Well, explainer videos can be kind of long. I did one today, as a matter of fact, that was, well, it wasn't very long. It was only about 3 minutes long. It was for HSA accounts, health savings accounts, and actually it was fairly well written, so it was a pleasure to record that. Anyway, cold reading is a really great skill to have. What is cold reading? In case you don't know, cold reading is when you just pick up anything, a book, anything, a script, whatever, and you just start reading aloud. You don't look it over, you don't study it first, you just launch into it. And the benefit of this kind of skill is that, well, you don't have to do a lot of work to prep a script. You can just launch right into it and get going because, time is money. And when you're doing long form narration, like I do, I don't record audiobooks. Excuse me. If you saw my interview with Al Kessel a few days ago, we talked a little bit about that. And but I do a fair amount of e-learning, and those generally from the clients that I've been getting lately can range from anywhere from about 20 minutes to 40 minutes of finished audio. And if I was to, really study that for any amount of time, that's a lot of time. So I generally just read my script cold. I open it up, I will read the first paragraph or 2 maybe just to kinda get a feel for the material. I'll turn on my recording software, hit record, and go. Now, of course, I'll make mistakes along the way, that's to be expected, and usually, within a paragraph or 2, you can start to get the feel of what the writer's writing style is like. You can kind of see how they form sentences, you can get a feel for how things flow. So that way you can start to anticipate what the forthcoming sentences and paragraphs are going to be like, which is very helpful. So that what this does is, and especially practicing this, that's what I'm suggesting you do. Practice your cold reading. And how do you do that, you may say? Jan, how do you practice cold reading? I'll tell you. So what you do is you pick up a book, anything. Here we go. Annual Notice of Changes for 2025 from United Healthcare. You pick it up and you just start reading, just whatever. Now, there are several challenges to this, and read for at least 10 minutes straight. Do that a couple times a day. Here are the challenges and here are the benefits. The challenges are that you don't just open it up and read like a monotone, blah, 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 blah. Put something into it. Act as though these words are coming right out of your head. You know, you're making them up on the spot. And try to make the language sound like it's yours, that it's natural. Now, that's not only is it difficult to do in the first place, but reading something like that, or even a book or a magazine, that writing style really isn't meant to be read aloud. That is meant to be read, internally. And so that's the real crux of the thing, is to act like these words are coming straight out of your head. And if you do that once or twice a day, who cares who's around, by the way? If you're embarrassed, hey, doing it in front of an audience is even a better exercise, because that might prepare you for performing in a directed session, which you will have to do in order to have a thriving career in voiceover. Maybe not if you're doing audiobooks exclusively or long form exclusively. I don't think I've ever had a directed session of long form narration. Maybe just to get me going, like somebody will want to sit in with me, I should say, and have me, sit in on the recording of the first page of material or so, just to make sure that I'm voicing in the style that they want. But otherwise, it's all up to me. And so where did I leave off of that? So what that's going to do for you, it's going to give you the ability to cold read, so that you don't have to study a lengthy script ahead of time to be able to lay down a good track. Okay. So that's very important. Read aloud for at least 10 minutes a day. Anything. Like I said, it can be a book, it can be a magazine, whatever you've got around, but read 10 minutes straight. And remember that you're not just reading the words, you're putting something into it. You're making it sound interesting. You're kind of reading for an audience, even if there's nobody around, because most of the time that's what we're doing anyway. We're reading to ourselves in a padded room, and it's a little nuts. So do that. Now, the second thing you can do, which is great experience, is to record yourself, even if you don't have, microphone and, anything set up. You haven't bought any equipment yet. You can use your phone. Let me show you. I do this frequently. Well, I should say that, thanks, Bob. Salt Lake City. Also awesome. Salt Lake City area. Now, so let me just show you this here. Hopefully that is showing up. So I use my Samsung phone's voice recorder app. Okay. Even if you're not using a Samsung device or an Android device, you're using an Apple device, there are tons of these apps available on the Play Store or the whatever the Apple version of the Google Play Store is. I know there is one. So I'm going to open this app, and that's just got sort of a menu of my saved recordings. I'm sorry, I really need to. Oh, there we go. I really need to get an app, a way to show you my phone. I know I can do it. I just need to figure it out. I'm in the infancy of this live stream business. Please forgive me. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record, and let's see if I can get it. Now you can see the waveform. It's showing you the time that's being recorded, and it's also showing you the waveform of my recording. So use this to your advantage to practice reading, practice recording, and this is a helpful tool for a couple different reasons. I'm just going to stop that. It's helpful for you to get used to hearing yourself on mic, even if it's just a phone mic. Um, and also it can be a useful tool to try to read to time. For instance, when you're reading a commercial script that's meant for 30 seconds, well, sometimes they put a lot more words in than is really available for 30 seconds. I had one of those commercials this morning. I did a commercial for a small grocery store chain, and it was a 30-second commercial, but my reads were going about 33 seconds. They wanted it at a moderate pace, so not a not a speed read. So I did that, but with all my breaths and everything, it pushed it. So I went through and I deleted all my breaths, and um, so it was just a matter of doing some careful editing and also knowing how to read the script so that you could end one sentence and make a smooth transition into the next, even when you are deleting that breath. So anyway, it's a very handy trick to do. Looks like Bob it says, I've been trying to do voiceover for a while now, but haven't had any success. I have had a demo made and had my audio quality checked. I think I have all the tools to do the job. Cool. Sounds like it. Um, it can take time, Bob. Even if you have a great sounding studio, even if your your performances are great and you have great sounding demos, a lot of it comes down to how you are applying yourself in the marketing aspect. I hate marketing. I've always hated marketing, but it has to be done. So when I was in the early years of my voiceover business, kind of getting off track here from what I was saying, but that's all right. This is good stuff. So Bob, what I did was I I was a machine. That was my job. I mean, aside from my day job, which I definitely still had, I became a cold emailer, just a machine. I would go down. I used something called Mandy.com. I don't know what it's like. I haven't been on that for years. I did not pay for it. I used it as a directory to find production companies, and to just send things out. I sent hundreds of emails, at least 10 a day or more sometimes. I would crank them out. I also was doing some cold calling back then. Um, I had about probably the same amount of success with cold emailing and cold calling. And that's very little. That is to say, a response or a positive response from whoever I was trying to contact. It's I mean, the percentage was way down, 2% maybe. It's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, send over your demo," or, "Yeah, maybe I've got something coming up that you might be right for," or, "Yeah, let's keep in that's what I mean by positive. Doesn't mean it leads to any work, it just means that I'm not just, trying to contact a brick wall, you know? So, but that kind of thing is definitely a numbers game. You gotta get your name out there some way, and you're really the only guy that's going to be able to be your best advocate. And I understand what you mean by you saying, perhaps you have a lack or you have some stage fright. How do you mean, Bob? Do you mean just getting out there, making calls, um, and emailing and things? Yeah, it's difficult. Other things that I did, and this is a long time ago. I'm sorry, but some of the things I'm gonna be suggesting, I'm not sure that it works anymore. But this is what I did. Another thing I did was I got on 1 or 2 of the pay to play sites, like, Voice 123. At I was on voices.com for a while before this things started getting really shady with them. I had left before that. But what I'm getting to with that is I was able to make some contacts that became longtime clients. Um, Other things that I've done are getting on some of the casting websites, such as Voice Crafters. There are others, where you become a name in a huge roster of voices, and it's a place where you won't get like, you won't just put what am I trying to say here? It's not like the pay to play sites. You don't pay for this service, but these services get a cut of what you are paid should you be hired through them. Those can be good opportunities to find clients. Um, but the thing that you'll find is, Bob, that once you start landing some of these clients and you do a good job for them and they are thankful for you, the word starts to get around a little bit. Things can start to snowball a little bit. And it also depends upon what kind of work you're going after. If you're looking for just the top tier stuff, that can be harder to come by. A lot of voice actors or they will only audition for things that their talent agents send them because that's the good paying work. Others others do other things. They work for some of the lower tier casting sites like Fiverr or Upwork. They'll look for work on those sites. A lot of people look down their noses at that kind of thing. I say, hey, whatever pays the bills for you and that you feel okay about. I know a number of people that have made a lot of money on those types of sites. A lot. Um, I don't. I think I worked I think I kind of looked on Upwork for a while before it became Upwork. It used to be called something else. God, I'm really dating myself here. But, anyway, I hope that helps a little bit, Bob. Feel free to reach out to me, through my email, which you can find in my profile on YouTube, and, hit me up if you wanna, chat a little bit. Um, let's see. What else did I wanna talk about? Let's see. I was talking about recording on your phone, which is "Hey there, Patrick. Good to see you." Um, I was talking about recording on your phone. Yeah, just because it's great practice. And then once you get more involved and you do start buying gear and getting into a quote unquote real recording software, that's going to be a bit of a learning curve. And so take time with it. Some some people will express the attitude, and rightly so, that when you're learning voiceover, get into the performance aspects first. Absolutely. But learn the recording concurrently. You don't want to be all set. You don't want to be done with your coaching program, have your shiny new demos that you recorded in an outside studio, and then, you put out your plaque, "Hey, I'm so and so, professional voice actor." Yes. And then you can't record at home. If somebody wants to hire you, they love the way you sound, you know, they love the way you, they loved what they heard on your demos, but you can't recreate that at home and quickly like other professionals do, you're gonna be stuck. So anyway, this will give you a little bit of a taste of what it feels like to record your own voice. A lot of people, when they're brand new to this, they hear their recorded voice for the first time and it's like, "Oh my God, gross. I can't, no." You know, you gotta get over that. I mean, clearly. I mean, I do some on-camera work once in a while you know, but anyway, that's a different story. Um, let's see. Well, that's everything that I wanted to tell you about. A couple other things was that you might occasionally see me make videos with my phone. As a matter of fact, I just mics for voiceover. Um, so I thought I'd give that a try. Um, otherwise, if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. You'll be seeing more video content coming your way from me. Join me for more videos. Like my content, share it if you think somebody might appreciate it. Just to help me get the word out a little bit. Um, please comment and ask questions. I love interacting and sharing when I can. Um, and what else? Oh, and if you want to work with me, I do that as well. Check in my bio for my Calendly link, and you can see my offerings there. And other than that, I think that's gonna wrap it up for today. Thank you guys for joining me. That's very cool. Looks like I've had 3 people on the call today, and I'm that's better than 0, which is what I had last time. So, hey, that's growth. I love it. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end it there. But thanks again for joining me and taking part, Bob and Patrick. And have a nice evening. All right, take care.